What if I told you that the way a baby reacts when their mother leaves the room can predict how they'll communicate, love, and navigate conflict 20, 30, even 40 years later? One 20-minute experiment, The Strange Situation, uncovered the blueprint of human attachment. And when you understand it, you don't just understand babies, you finally understand yourself. Hi, I'm Nori and my AI twin sister Nora, and today we're exploring one of the most groundbreaking studies in psychology and human development, Mary Ainsworth's Strange Situation experiment. This single study transformed everything we know about parenting, trauma, relationships, and the emotional patterns we carry for life. So let's break down what happened, what attachment styles were discovered, and how these early patterns continue shaping our adult lives today. In the 1970s, psychologist Mary Ainsworth set out to understand how infants form emotional bonds with their mothers. She created a structured 20-minute laboratory procedure made up of 8 brief episodes. The mother and baby enter the room. The baby begins to explore. A stranger walks in. The mother leaves. The baby's reaction is observed. The mother returns. Then she leaves again, and finally returns for the key moment, the reunion. These small, carefully controlled separations revealed profound truths about attachment. Because when a child is stressed, their attachment style doesn't hide, it becomes unmistakably visible. From the strange situation, Ainsworth identified 3 primary attachment styles: secure, avoidant, and ambivalent anxious. Later, researchers added a 4th, disorganized. These weren't just labels, they were measurable patterns, consistent behaviors, and nervous system reactions that predicted emotional health years, even decades later. How an infant copes with separation reflects how safe, soothed, and supported they feel in their primary relationship. And these early patterns don't stay in childhood. They quietly shape how we communicate, love, and respond to stress throughout our entire adult lives. Here's how securely attached babies behaved in the strange situation. They explored freely when their mother was in the room, checking in with her but feeling confident enough to wander. When she left, they showed clear distress, not panic, but genuine sadness. And when she returned, they went straight to her for comfort, calmed down quickly, and then returned to play as if to say, "Okay, my safety is back." What this means, a securely attached child sees their caregiver as a safe base, a reliable source of comfort, protection, and emotional regulation. Because they trust that comfort is available, they don't cling. They don't shut down. They feel safe enough to explore the world with confidence and curiosity. Adult version of secure attachment. As adults, securely attached people tend to be comfortable with closeness. They communicate openly, regulate their emotions well, and trust their partner's intentions. They don't fear abandonment. And they can handle conflict in a steady, constructive way without shutting down or exploding. Parent behavior that created this pattern. This usually develops when a caregiver was responsive, attuned, consistent, and emotionally present. Not perfect, just reliably available. Secure attachment isn't about flawless parenting. It's about a caregiver who shows up again and again in ways the nervous system can depend on. Parent behavior that shaped this. Avoidant attachment usually forms when a caregiver was emotionally unavailable, dismissive of feelings, or focused more on tasks and obedience than on emotional connection. These parents often responded to behavior, but not to the child's internal world, their fear, their sadness, their need for comfort. Over time, the child learns, emotions don't get me closeness, they get me nothing. And here's the truth. Avoidant adults don't lack emotion, they lack safety with emotion. Their distancing isn't coldness, it's protection. Here's how anxiously attached babies behaved in the strange situation. They clung tightly to their mother, showing intense distress when she left. When she returned, they wanted comfort, but they were hard to soothe. They reached for her yet also showed anger, almost as if they didn't know what to expect. Because deep down they had learned, comfort is inconsistent. So I have to amplify my distress to get attention. Adult anxious attachment. As adults, this often looks like fearing abandonment, needing reassurance, and being hyper-aware of every shift in tone or mood. They overthink, they feel too much, and their relationships can feel like emotional highs and lows, not because they're dramatic, but because their nervous system learned to stay on constant alert for connection. This 4th attachment style was added later by researcher Mary Main. Here's how disorganized babies behaved in the strange situation. They froze in place, showed confused or contradictory actions, sometimes approached the caregiver, and then collapsed, hid, or fled. Their bodies showed clear signs of fear. This happens when the caregiver is both the source of comfort and the source of fear, creating a dilemma with no solution. Adult disorganized attachment. In adulthood, this often looks like intense emotional swings, difficulty regulating feelings, trauma responses, push-pull relationship patterns, trouble trusting, and sometimes dissociation or shutdown under stress. This attachment style is strongly connected to early trauma, chaos, or neglect in the caregiving environment. The strange situation changed psychology forever because it revealed two life-shaping truths. 1. Early relationships shape the nervous system. Attachment isn't just emotional, it's physiological. It wires a child's stress response, their sense of safety, and their ability to regulate emotions for the rest of their life. 2. We don't outgrow attachment, we replay it. As adults, our partners often become the new mother or new father. Our nervous system scans for safety. We repeat the patterns we learned as infants, seeking closeness the same way, avoiding vulnerability the same way, or fearing abandonment the same way. This is why early attachment echoes throughout our entire lives. Attachment styles are patterns, not destinies. Your nervous system can learn new ways to connect, to trust, and to feel safe again. 4. Parenting matters, but perfection doesn't. Children don't need flawless parents. They need caregivers who are attuned, responsive, and willing to repair when things go wrong. It's connection, not perfection, that builds security. 5. Love is biology. Attachment theory explains why breakups feel like withdrawal, why closeness regulates our heartbeat, and why human connection can calm the entire body. Love isn't just emotional, it's physiological stability. Section 8. The takeaways for adult healing. 1. Know your attachment style. Self-awareness is the first step toward change. When you understand your patterns, how you reach for closeness, how you react to distance, how you handle conflict, your entire relationship landscape shifts. 2. Learn to regulate your nervous system. Healing attachment isn't just mental, it's physiological. Tools like breathwork, EMDR, somatic therapy, and attachment-based therapy help your body learn what safety feels like. When your nervous system calms, your patterns begin to transform. The strange situation taught us something profound. The way we love is shaped by the way we were loved. But it also revealed something even more powerful. Healing doesn't come from insight alone, it comes from new experiences of safety, presence, and connection. Your past is not your destiny. Your attachment style is not your identity. It's simply the map you were handed before you had a choice. And now, with awareness, support, and new patterns, you get to redraw that map and create a different kind of love. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Nori and my AI twin sister Nora, exploring the psychology of love, attachment, and healing. If this video brought you insight, clarity, or a moment of compassion for yourself, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, which attachment style do you resonate with and what would safety look like for you today? Because when you understand your attachment blueprint, you don't just make sense of your past. You begin to reshape your future with intention, awareness, and deeper connection.